Listen to Career Paths by Implement every Thursday.
You might learn something.
You might not.
Available on Apple Podcasts,
On Spreaker,
Spotify,
on Google,
and iHeartRadio. It's your life. Make it happen.
Jim's got, what do you got?
Nothing.
Work. He's
Actually,
got work.
you got garbage down here. Probably won't want to be chewing on gum.
That's right. We've had the radio in the background on for an episode. We've left the fan on. Ryan was, before Ryan was on set, I saw him go like,
do you hear something?
going, oh shit.
keep that over there. It's going to start going off on me.
It will.
Coming in.
Coming in hot. Oh, you're so pretty. Yeah. So pretty. Welcome to Career Paths by Infonet. I'm your host, Victor Boudreau, with Ryan King. Hey, Ryan.
Hey.
Hey, what up?
What up?
And it's an update with, who are you again? You were on our very first episode of Career Paths quite over a year ago.
Wow.
And I'm sorry, who are you again?
Mike Wazowski.
This is my brother Jim Boudreau. He was gracious enough to come on. I knew that the first episode interview would be easy because he's full of crap. I'm full of crap. He's an architect, project manager. What else do you want to add to that title?
Anything, everything. World traveler, rock star.
You're a musician. You're actually playing again.
Musician, yes,
You
playing again.
Again, you got some gigs coming up.
Yep. October.
Nice.
Yep.
So I haven't watched that episode. Shortly after it came out, just because it was new to us. Ryan, have you watched Jim's episode?
It's been a long time, but yeah, I did.
So you were working. You not only do your own stuff, and what's the company name?
Bad Studio. It's Boudreau Architectural Design Studio.
And you also work for another company in Coeur d'Alene.
Correct. Eric Hedlund Design.
What do you do for him?
I am the architect of record. So typically on commercial projects, you need to have somebody that is a licensed architect.
And you're licensed?
I am the licensed
certified,
architect.
so you can
right.
go.
And then I also handle a lot of the stuff that nobody else wants to handle.
How do you get suckered in?
It's just where I've found myself after all these years. I deal with construction administration. I deal with permitting. I deal with a lot of public meetings and presentations and design review committees and things like that. So
Anybody else in the office can do this, or just don't?
Absolutely.
Okay, they just
Everybody does it on a certain level.
Okay.
But the office over there is primarily, I would say it's probably 80% residential, which on residential projects you don't need to have a license. And so
Makes it easier, huh?
yeah, most of the rest of the outfit works on pretty purely residential stuff. There are a few of us old guys that have done commercial and institutional and that kind of work, and so that's who typically is doing the commercial work, the construction administration, that sort of thing. But in the last year, it's kind of become my basket to
Took it over.
carry.
Right.
Yeah.
So on the residential, why don't you have to have a license?
Really what it boils down to is liability. On a commercial project, you've typically got higher occupant loads. You are responsible for more code compliance, ADA and things like that, whereas on residential, it's typically a single family residence or two family residences are allowed to be drawn, designed, and permitted by someone who's but someone who's a designer and not a licensed architect. But really what it boils down to is life safety and liability.
Good question. Good. Ryan.
Thanks.
I saw your...
That was
That's what a host does.
Yeah.
came on. He's a host. He's not a co-host, even though I. Anyway, thanks, Ryan.
Anytime.
You actually live in Moscow,
Moscow, Idaho is
and then
where
you
my residence is.
correct, and then you work in Coeur d'Alene for the other company,
Correct.
and then your own stuff. You get around.
I do get around.
You've gone to Seattle. Was that?
Projects, no, not
Where
in
you were-
Seattle. I've done projects well, combined, all of the work that I've done has been all over the Northwest, even into Utah, Arizona.
Afghanistan.
I did a project in Afghanistan. So
a while
that
back.
was,
Not lately, thank
that
God.
was 2013. And yeah, I mean, I will go wherever
They
somebody
pay you?
wants to pay me to go work.
Really? They'll pay you?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So do you travel every day from Moscow up to?
No,
Coeur d'Alene, or-
I drive up, stay during the week for the most part, and then go home on weekends.
So he has something he has to go back to do.
Yeah,
She does
on
on
occasion I'll be
meeting or
back and
something.
forth during the week, but for the most part I'm up here during the week days.
And do you intermix your stuff? I know you kind of have to at times, but
Try to keep them fairly separate.
right.
Yeah, there's again, going back to liabilities and things like that, and so if I have work of mine that's going on and something comes up while I'm working at the other office, then I'll take those calls. But I don't typically intermingle my projects with EH projects.
So on the original episode, we went through where you went to school at for architecture,
Yes,
And that
University of Idaho.
and then you became you taught.
A little bit, yep. I was an adjunct faculty member at Washington State University. I was also working at Washington State University as a project manager for capital planning and development, and took on some classes for the School of Architecture and Construction Management for a couple of years. Taught some young blood.
And when you graduated from
Idaho.
university,
Go
I found the
Vandals.
picture and I sent it to your daughter and your son, and your daughter said she'd never seen it because what I got him for graduating, because he was a college. What did I get you?
It was a tweed jacket with leather elbow patches.
He's never.
Nice.
It's sat in the closet ever since, but he wore it then, and
That would have been good for teaching too,
That's
really.
kind of
Yeah,
right,
I was never quite that kind of a teacher, so.
So
Yeah.
did you enjoy teaching?
Actually, I did. I really did. It was fun. Kids are full of crap, and they're.
considering your background and all the crap and bullshit that you know and what you put out growing up, because I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Could you read it pretty easy when you're teaching with kids, or?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, every kid's different, and their
Sure.
personalities are all over the place. But yeah, you see some things where, you can tell the kid that didn't go to bed the night before.
Mhm.
The kids that are bored out of their brains and they're just playing on their phones. Yeah, you definitely recognize some things.
Oh, never mind.
Problem children.
Yeah. Were you bored going in high school when you had, no, before that, let me clarify. When you're doing your oldest brother, our oldest brother's homework, which is 4 or 5 years older, Jim was doing our oldest brother's high school homework before he was in high school, weren't you?
Some, yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was bored shitless in high school and
Oh,
junior
hell yeah.
high. I mean,
No challenge.
you're stuck there. You're learning stuff. At the time, I had no interest in whatsoever.
Question, going from, we were Air Force brats, going from the base school,
Mhm.
which to me was more challenging, more, even
Advanced,
for
yeah.
what it was, and then going out to where we went, public school, was like, just, there's no, and I'm not trying to knock it, it just
Yeah.
was a total different, not
It It was very different, very different. I mean, it's out in, as a rural school district. It was probably culture shock as much as,
Yeah, I would agree.
educationally. Yeah, I mean, we had the United States Air Force at work in our schools, so
Yeah.
we had all of the fun stuff. I remember we had trampolines in gym out at the base.
Yeah, definitely.
Didn't we swim out there too?
Well,
For some reason.
I don't know if it's part of the school, but there's an indoor pool, there's an outdoor
Yeah,
pool on base.
yeah.
There's a movie
There's-
theater.
And
There's
then you move out to
rural north
Yeah.
of Spokane, which,
now has turned into
but still,
kind of
it's,
a community, but yeah.
But still, when we were out there, there's
There
nothing
was
to nowhere.
nothing to do, and there was nobody around.
Besides being on each other, and which happened quite a lot.
Yes, indeed.
So, once again, I remember going from like an A to B student when we were out at the base,
Mhm.
going to maybe a C, D, just because, and I didn't do anything, and that's because I was bored. Didn't.
Yeah. Yep.
Best part of going to high school at Riverside was learning how to deal with different types of people, rednecks, jocks, because we all intermingled.
Stoners and
So,
the whole 9 yards.
so that's Ryan and I talked just briefly. Brought up about why he asked me to do host or initially be the host of the podcast initially, just because I can BS with anybody, and that was from what my experience of doing that in
Yeah.
high school. Because I didn't learn much there. I don't remember studying. I remember CWP
Yeah.
with
Did you have
Raj.
you had Roger for CWP?
Roger Riggs.
I had.
He died last year.
He
We know.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jim knew him well.
Yeah, that's a sad.
You had
sad
Vulture?
deal. I had
He
Vulture
was
for
one of my
CWP.
favorite teachers too.
Roger.
Riggs, yeah.
Oh God, he was great. And it's interesting. Did you go and read any of his? There were some posts and things after he passed about students that he had influenced. He was. I thought I was an
Special.
artist until I met Roger, and then he was awesome about it. But he certainly let me know that I was a long ways from being an artist. But then he like encouraged me to become that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a great teacher.
I just remember I was supposed to have senior year after the high school burned down.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
was supposed to have a paper done by so I could graduate. They're still waiting. I got the diploma. Get him out. Go.
Yeah. We don't want him here
I know, we don't-
anymore. Yeah, they so one thing that I guess that I lucked out with after the high school burned down.
Riverside, class 1982.
Yep.
Spring.
Spring break. It was the Friday before spring break. Do you remember?
I just remember Mom coming in going, haha, school burned down. April Fool. It's not April Fool's, Mom. No, it burnt down.
Yeah.
You won't
Yeah.
go to school.
So I ended up transferring to Deer Park.
Correct.
And then when I went to Deer Park, I was allowed to go to the Skills Center, which I was able to do culinary arts. So
School
I had
Center
a
had
year.
different.
Yeah, it
like,
was a trade school
automotive.
for
cooking.
jumpstart trade
Right.
school for high school.
I think it's
kids.
still there, and there's
It
another
is.
thing by it too.
Yeah, yep. But I took a year of culinary arts because I was very interested in cooking and culinary arts. And
Over
so,
the years, you had your own sauces
Mhm.
that you put out,
Mhm.
marketed it. You tried to do, or you wanted interested in doing a restaurant, but that never got to that point. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it can't happen still.
Yeah.
What happened? The sausage just too much. Moscow
Yeah,
Pepper Company and
Well, there was that. There was work. I had kids
family.
at the time, 10 and 12-year-old kids, and
Yeah. Now they're
running
out of-
every weekend and
Yep.
doing all of that. So,
Have you ever thought about?
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think about it often.
We need to talk, Ryan.
Okay,
We should get it going. Seriously, why not? What do we have to do?
I've got it's funny because I've got new perspective on it, and
Sure.
I have some.
Keep talking. I
some
gotta step
plans.
up. Go ahead. Keep talking.
See you later, Vic. Thanks for stopping by.
Well, yeah. Keep talking.
Don't fall into well,
The
go ahead and
abyss?
fall into the abyss.
Oh my eye. Oh.
Oh my God! I just killed myself. That's a great idea.
This is for the ultimate podcast. Yeah. Yep. The good old days. I still have some shirts of that. I still have bottles and labels and.
I have the apron. You need to do that again. I want to be involved, at least push it. I don't know how to cook. I'm not smart enough. I'll screw it up, but I'll get out there bullshit and go, try it. All you have to do is, nowadays, online.
It's yummy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's funny because it's been 10, 11 years since I did anything with the sauces. But yeah, you know, you spend that much time kind of looking back on it, and there are certain things that I would do differently
Sure,
now
hopefully.
that would make it a lot easier to do.
Easier and
So,
better.
yeah, better, faster, stronger.
We need to, Ryan, we're gonna,
I make my own barbecue sauce.
Oh, do you really?
We'll
I
add-
love it, yeah.
we'll add
In
to-
fact, my wife loves that. It's a honey habanero type barbecue
Ooh,
sauce.
Nice.
And she can't stand hot stuff, and she'll literally lick the bowl clean.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
His ex,
which one? One
Right.
of the X's?
Alicia.
Yeah.
So I used to cook all these sauces, and pepper sauce that I had was habaneros, jalapenos, chipotles. It had 7 different peppers in it, and the habaneros, I had some extra, so I stemmed them and froze them. And then Vic and Alicia came down to Moscow one time, and I opened up the freezer, and she goes, "Ooh, what are those?" I said, "They're habaneros. Have you ever had one?" She goes, I don't think she had one, but she goes, "I love peppers." And I'm like, "Knock yourself out, honey, if you want to have one." She ate like 5 of them and didn't even bat an eyelash. And I was thinking, okay, it's because they're frozen. They're not. No, she had asbestos.
Wow.
I was insane. She
I ate one once, and I
Yeah.
couldn't drink enough
Uh-huh.
things. I mean, buttermilk, everything. I'm
everything-
chugging it,
Yeah,
and nothing's dousing it. I'm like, ooh. Yeah, no.
I had one night I was working and I'd glove up because you know it's the juice that gets you.
Yeah.
So I gloved up, but you know I was grinding peppers, and they kind of pop. You know the cells kind of pop a little bit, and I got something somewhere on my arm, and I had you know a little. So I went to wipe my eye. Oh my God! This is like 2 o'clock in the morning because I used various facilities, kitchens to work in, and I literally my eye swelled up, and it was just running, tearing for at least an hour. It's
I
good
used
stuff.
to work with a guy that he was always into the hot peppers and
Mhm.
stuff. He did a lot of stir frying that.
Oh yeah.
He was telling me the one day he came to work, and you could see his eyes were still kind of red and stuff. I'm like, what happened? And he's like, I was home cooking. He was doing some stir frying. I was cutting up the habaneros, and it shot, got me in the eye, and so I did that real quick to wipe it out, and
Yeah.
I actually wiped it into my other eye.
Oh,
Worked
He
out
goes,
well.
so then I'm over, you know, I'm blinded, my eyes are just watering. He goes, I go over and I get a towel and I get it wet and I like tie it over my eyes.
oh,
Cause he goes, I got food
That's-
on the stove, so
that's
I'm standing
miserable.
there stirring my
Blind.
stir fry, blindfolded. And he goes, my girlfriend walks in and she's like, what in the hell?
It's a new trick I'm learning.
It's like, I'm the
honey.
sensei, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, peppers are dangerous, but yeah. So it's been a few years.
So you thought about it, so we need to we'll move forward. So when you're first on the show, you switched to a different job from Coeur d'Alene to Spokane. I don't remember if you'd done that yet.
I don't think I had, but it was in the works probably.
Maybe
If we're at about a year from when that,
a year and a half.
then no, that one hadn't happened. That
March.
was a brief interlude for a few months. Worked in Spokane for a different firm. That was not really a great fit for me, so ended up going back to Coeur d'Alene and have been doing that now for the last 9 months, 8-9 months, and it's a good fit. The level of work that we do there, it's that office has produced the 3 highest selling pieces of real estate in Idaho over the last year. So a $30 million house that's on the market right now that'll go soon. $28 million house that was sold this last
Ryan, weren't you looking at that
winter.
I was, yeah.
Okay, obviously.
And then
Just
18.
with my career pass checks.
Right. Just waiting for those sponsors to kick in.
That's right.
No, it's been it's a really good firm. The level of work is incredible.
Right.
The clients almost all have really healthy budgets. So as a designer, as an architect, that's fun.
Gives a little freedom to.
Oh yeah, we're designing really cool stuff.
If
and-
somebody was interested to see something that you've designed, or from that firm, or from that, or from Bad, in the Coeur d'Alene area, any way to find it?
Yep.
Just
One thing that's cool that you can actually get to, because a lot of those houses are at private clubs, so gated communities
Right.
you can't get into, but there are a lot of
$28
projects.
million
that-
in
Yeah.
a private.
If anybody wants to
Just a
go
little string
to,
across the road.
there's a guy out there walking his dog. Hey, get out of here! Go away!
Private.
Yeah.
Private road.
Gaza Ranch is
Oh,
a
that's right.
country club on the far side of Lake Coeur d'Alene, over towards Harrison.
South.
Bunch of south of the freeway. Bunch of homes in there. Very cool stuff. We've got some condominiums that are under construction over there right now. Black Rock is a club that is on this side of the lake, but south of the freeway.
And that's a
down
housing
towards.
community also.
It's a club, and a club typically. When we were growing up, there were country clubs.
Right.
Nobody calls them country clubs anymore.
Clubs
So
now. Okay.
clubs, yeah.
'Cause I remember that Black Rock getting going when
Yeah.
I was over there doing
Yep.
irrigation landscapes.
Yeah. So Gaza, Black Rock. There's a new club out in the same area as Black Rock called Rock Creek. So whole bunch of product in those developments or clubs. But in Coeur d'Alene, there's a new place at the airport called the Stancraft Jet Center, which is just an incredible place. It's where all the people that go to clubs, they land their private jets at the Stancraft Jet Center.
Don't you have do you fly your
Yeah,
car
daily.
in your
Yep.
station wagon?
Yep, coming in. My station wagon with wings. Yeah, so Stancraft, there's a bunch of stuff in Coeur d'Alene, and I don't know why I'm drawing a blank,
So,
but
it's okay.
we've got condos up in Sandpoint, right on the water, that are under construction right now.
And
And then-
North Idaho is freaking nuts.
It's booming. It's just on fire, and we're like everybody that's in construction and design and all of that. Right now in the inland Northwest, everybody's just crazy busy. Ryan can attest to that. So it's right now it's good. There have been times in the past where design and construction were not good, but
Ups and downs, just like anything else.
right, cycles.
So your kids are out of the house now?
Yes,
I'm trying to get
yes.
your son. He's getting into real estate
That is
in the Coeur d'Alene
correct.
area.
That is
I'm
correct.
trying to get him on. Your daughter is back east, finished her last year.
Of law school, one of my daughters.
One of your daughters, I'm sorry, yeah. I'm going to get her on. We'll do it online. And your other daughter is down.
In Nevada. Technically, I believe it's Henderson, but
Right.
Las Vegas area.
That's where I hooked up with her years ago when I visited.
Yeah.
And your granddaughter.
That's gross, Vic. You hooked up with my daughter.
I'm not that way, you perv.
I kind
He
of caught that
he
too. I
said
was
it.
like, huh?
I'm not.
We met up. She took me around and showed me Las Vegas a little bit.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Oh my God!
Yeah, she's.
I know your family, but
Yeah.
I know where you're assuming. But
My oldest is in Vegas, basically, with my granddaughter,
Yeah.
who is now 7 years old.
that's crazy.
It is crazy.
When you get to see her again.
Soon, I'm hoping to get down there this fall sometime.
Nice. Ryan, anything? This is just an update. We're going all over the place, but that's kind of what I kind of wanted this show to be. Your second time on. Thank you, Ryan. You got any?
Absolutely. Thanks for having
Being a host with the most. You
I think we
boast.
mosted it.
You
Mosted
boast.
it. It's already been
Once
mosted.
again, your company.
Bad Studio.
Can they find it online in case they're
Probably not. I have never put together a website for my architecture.
And you're
Knock on wood, there's some wood.
That's wood.
I have not needed a website. I have never marketed myself.
You've been fortunate to progress
Knock on
and move
wood.
on.
Yeah, it's word of mouth and.
So you don't suck completely.
Well, I don't know about that. I guess that depends on who you ask.
They keep paying you.
Right.
and you got
right.
customers and
people
clients.
keep calling, so
It
that
sucks
part's
and
good.
people keep paying.
Wait a minute.
So
Wait a minute.
the company you work for, if they have a project they don't want to take on, do they turn it over and see if you want it?
I have not done that. Mainly because, like we were talking earlier, nobody says no to anything. There haven't been any projects that that were turned down that I would have wanted anything to do with, I guess is the
I
safe
know
way to say
a
it.
cabinet maker that he works for a company,
Yep.
and any jobs that they don't want, typically because it's too small of a
Mhm.
job,
Mhm.
he'll take them and do them out of his own garage
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. But
And they're probably perfectly fine with that. And
yeah,
if there was a project like that, I'm just trying to think. I mean,
I suppose anything they turn down is small enough. You don't need to be licensed or anything, so
pretty much. Yeah.
it'll just be residential
Yeah, we
type stuff that wouldn't be paying enough.
right, right, and honestly, the residential stuff, it's tough for me because I am so busy. There's a lot of guys out there that'll do them real cheap and crank them out, and so that's just not. I used to do that all the time. I used to stay up all night long drawing house plans for people, and you know, when you're working full time and doing that as a side hustle, it's great, but it's
Past that.
So
well.
you're not going to draw the plans for my house that I'm supposed to build my wife.
I'll draw you a set of plans.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely, I would.
I know a guy.
good.
Yeah, let me know. I mean, I can definitely draw something.
I should,
Where
I
are you
should
gonna
get you
build?
going now out of the parents' place.
Oh, cool.
We're gonna
Very cool.
once we buy it,
Yeah.
we'll eventually take the house out and put up our own.
Tearing down your childhood home.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
you
But,
cannibal.
you know,
No,
this doesn't quite fit us.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. Yeah, I'll definitely.
See, I should tell you
draw
now. That way, you know, because we're looking at a couple years. That way, you don't have to
Perfect.
hurry.
Get them started
Perfect.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Warm them up.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the ones where, well, we still want to get a foundation in this year. Oh, okay. Good
And
luck
it's
with
November.
that. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Good for you. There you go. I hooked you up.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
See, pays to be on career paths.
That's right.
Pay attention. You might, you might learn something.
You never know.
You probably won't, though. Boy, you're right. Well, Jimbo, thank you, man.
Thank you.
I was talking about the house. I talked to you about building or designing old school Munsters out
Yeah.
exterior.
Yeah.
Interior. Rob Zombie's working on a new Munsters movie,
Oh, is he really?
and they're actually building. It looks like the old school house from the TV show. They're redoing it.
Is Rob going to be in it? Or is
He's
he...
directing, producing, or something
Okay.
like that. That's all I know at this point.
He's-
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I've always liked, and yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
As we converge off. Oh, by the way, Moscow Pepper Company. We'll
Hey.
talk about that. Well, we'll have you back on another 5 years probably from now because we'll still be doing it. We don't know any better. We're not very smart that way. We've got nothing else to do besides work. Ryan, how's your business? You're keeping busy?
Tad bit.
You need to call like 30 people back or
Yeah.
bids at this point?
27. Well,
No,
29.
That's why I said 30, dumbass.
Well, probably is 30 because my phone's over there. I'll get another one.
When was the last time you saw your wife?
I saw her for about 45 seconds right before I
Nice.
came over here.
Good long. That's not
Yeah.
all you need, though.
Yeah. I wish she doesn't get too sick of me.
Quick draw.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for listening and watching Career Paths by Infonet. I'm your host, Victor Boudreau. Mr. Ryan King, your host.
Host.
Our guest, Mr. Jim Boudreau, architect, sauce maker, music. You're We got gigs coming up.
Gigs coming
You are
up.
bass player, guitar player, singer.
Harmonica,
See,
whatever.
Tambourine.
Yes.
you know what's funny? He wanted to play drums, and I got him before him, and I pissed him. I always piss him off because I got drums and he never did.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I can pack my stuff into a gig a lot easier than you can.
Shut up.
This won't get stolen as easy though. I started to learn to play guitar. It got stolen, so then
Oh,
I switched
jeez.
to drums.
It's a sign from God.
I'm like, take that.
Yeah.
Well, till next time, thanks for watching and listening. Subscribe, leave a comment. What else? I got nothing.
Yeah.
Tip your
Subscribe.
bartenders. and
Tip your bartender,
waitresses.
tip your waitresses. It's your life. Make it happen. Till next time. Thanks. Thanks, Jimmy. Yay.